And
It's my
hey,
room. It's my
we're
room.
back. Yes, nice little conversation going on. Now I'm going
Was this a
to
nice
continue from day
conversation I
one.
involved in here?
Yes, I'm doing this with a couple of friends. But I'm going to have to do some grinding. I'm going to be grinding my teasing ability first, and probably get all the other locations. Since I want to play this as a little corrupt, I'm not going to go directly for the beautiful sword, though I would recommend to go to the lake if you're playing this and just keep on going until you get the beautiful sword. It's a very useful weapon, however, it becomes less effective the more corrupt you get. But in any case, going on, explore. You stumble as the ground shifts underneath you. Groaning in frustration, you straighten up and discover the rough feeling of sand inside your footwear, between your toes. You've discovered the desert. As you travel, you see another
Alright then.
person on the road. He is tethered to a small cart. I'm sorry, were you going to say something?
No, just continue with it.
Okay. He's tethered to a small cart that is overloaded with a hodgepodge of items. I like that word, hodgepodge.
It's a shit
He is
word.
dressed in a very garnished manner, having a broad multicolored hat, a brocaded coat, and large striped pantaloons. His appearance is almost comical as it contrasts with his severe
Are we
hawkish
talking
facial
about you
features.
now?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Are we talking about you now or something?
Yes. I
No,
have
I mean the
hawkish
actual
facial
you.
features. The man sees you, smiles, and stops his cart. Greetings,
No, I'm
traveler.
assuming
My
your
name
face.
is Giacomo. I am, as you see, a humble purveyor of items, curios, and other accoutrements. I don't know that word. You word for me. I'll look it up later. While I am not in a position to show you my full wares, as my shop is packed in this on this push cart, I do offer you some small trinkets for travelers I meet. The merchant looks at you sharply and cracks a wide, toothy smile, unnerving. The merchant twists his way around to a sack as he has around his back. A sack he has around his back. After a moment, he swings the sack from his back to have better access to its contents. Inquisitively, the merchant turns back to you, stranger. Be you interested in some drafts to aid you in your travels? Some quick pamphlets to warn you of dangers on your journeys? Or Giacomo pauses as he turns his head in both directions in a mocking gesture of a paranoid observation. His little bit of theatrics does make you wonder what he's about to offer. Maybe you would be interested in some items that enhance the pleasures of the flesh. Hmm? Giacomo's grin is nothing short of creepy as he offers his wares to you. What are you interested in? Well, I have no money, but just for players to be aware, he sells vitality, which raises both your strength and toughness. You know, it's sort of a 50-50 chance. He has Scholar's Tea, which raises your intelligence. The books he sells you, Dangerous Plants. This is useful. It reduces your encounter rate with tentacle monsters. Well, it doesn't really reduce it. It's just that sometimes you have a warning ahead of time saying that you're approaching its lair and you can avoid the encounter altogether. Traveler's Guide, it's useless. Don't buy it. And the Hentai comic, which is useful in the factory. If you come across the Incubus by accident, you can just give him the Hentai comic and he'll leave you alone. And in terms of erotica, well, yeah, stim belt, self-stimulation belt, commonly referred to as stim belts. These are clockwork devices designed to pleasure the female anatomy. And AN steel belt, this is an all-natural self-stimulation belt. The methods used to create such a pleasure device are unknown. It seems to be organic in nature. In any case, I have no money, so yeah, I'm out. Any thoughts? Done?
Not
Forever
really,
alone,
no.
man. Thunder booms
Hey.
overhead. Oh, what was that?
No, I I said not really, and then you're like, all right, I'm forever alone. I'm like, well, okay.
Okay. Thunder booms
Continue.
overhead, shaking you out of your thoughts. High above, dark clouds encircle a distant mountain peak. You get an ominous feeling in your gut as you gaze up at it. You have discovered the mountain. You spot an anomaly in the barren waste, a door that seems to be standing out in the middle of nowhere. Somehow you figure it must lead to some other part of the world, and the only reason it's here is because you can't get to where the door should be right now. Do you open it? Why the hell not? You open the door and carefully check inside for enemies that may be trying to ambush you. The room seems to be some kind of alchemical lab with shelves full of apparatuses along the walls, and a desk on one side of the room, and a long table across the room from you that is full of alchemical experiments in progress. Many give off lots of smoke, and others are bottles of bubbling fluids. A goblin wearing an apron and some kind of headband is sitting on a tall wheeled stool. She is otherwise nude and seems to be watching at least 3 experiments right now. She suddenly turns around and looks straight in your direction. It's hard to tell thanks to the dark goggles that hide her eyes from view, but you're fairly certain she's watching you. After a few seconds, she yells, "Customer!" in a thick lisp. She looks harmless enough. You step inside while she fiddles with her experiments, reducing the bubbly smoke. She jumps down from her stool, tears off her apron, bounds over the desk, and scrambles on top of it. She's about 3 feet tall, with yellow-green skin, and wears her orange hair in a long ponytail that reaches to her knees. Her breasts are about a B cup, with average nipples that have been colored orange. All of her nails have been painted orange to match. She doesn't seem to ever stop moving, and while the majority of her face looks cute, it's a little hard to be sure what she's while she's wearing those thick goggles. The solid black lenses of her goggles make her look quite unsettling, stifling any appeal from her that could inspire you. So, what can Lumi, Goblin Alchemist Extraordinaire, do for you today? Asks the unusual goblin. You explain it's a little hard to understand her. She sticks her tongue out at you, showing a very large stud in the middle of it, instantly explaining her lisp. Rather than pushing the point, you ask her what she can do for you. She pulls open a hatch on the top of the desk and pulls out a bottle of something and shakes it. Lumi can sell you some of her finely crafted potions for a good price, or if you're already got some nice potions or radiants, Lumi can make them even better. But that costs a whole lot. If you were one of the followers, then maybe Lumi could make a special deal with you. But the boss don't want me playing with outsiders. What will it be? I still have no money. But just to see a luster draft, which is what you were drugged with in the beginning, a goblin ale, it turns you into a goblin and gets you drunk, an Overlixer, which makes you pregnant, but you can also trade for eggs at some point. But in any case, I'm leaving. Yeah, naked goblin alchemist. Hot, right?
I'm back.
Totally attractive.
Indeed.
You find
Let me
yourself...
get some of that.
Yeah, some of that. The 3 foot high.
Oh, you mean your new profile picture?
You find yourself standing in knee-high grass, surrounded by flat plains on all sides. Though the mountain, forest, and lake are all visible from here, they seem quite distant. You have discovered the plains. All things considered, you decide you wouldn't mind a change of scenery. Gathering your belongings, you begin a journey into the wasteland. The journey begins in high spirits. You whistle with a traveling tune to pass the time. After an hour of wandering, however, your wanderlust begins to whittle away. Another half hour ticks by. Fed up with the fruitless exploration, you're nearly about to head back to camp when a faint light flits across your vision. Startled, you whirl around to take in 3 luminous will-o-wisps swirling around each other whimsically. As you watch, The three ghostly lights begin to move off, and and the thought of a trap crosses your mind, you you decide to follow. Got hiccup burps. Um, Before long, you start to detect traces of change in the environment. The most immediate difference is the increasingly sweltering heat. A few minutes pass, then the will-o-wisps plunge into the boundaries of the dark, murky, stagnant swamp. After a steadying breath, you follow them into the bog. Once within, however, the gaseous balls float off in different directions, causing you to lose track of them. You sigh resignedly, resignedly, like as if you resigned, whatever, and retrace your steps, satisfied with your discovery. Further exploration can wait. For now, your camp is waiting. You've discovered the swamp. Oh,
Interesting.
yes. Well, I've been trying to find some creatures to rape, but yeah, this is nice. I'm discovering new areas. And it's Giacomo again. I still don't have any money.
Rape,
Leave me alone.
explore, same thing, right?
Indeed.
I keep on running into Giacomo for some reason. I still don't have any money.